Want to make bad chess players?
Oh, they're terrible chess players. I mean, some are better than others, you know.
Why
But
do you
men
think
don't
so?
play in men's tournaments. I don't know why. I guess they're just not so smart.
That they are superior to men. Well, I said things actually quite uncontroversial, which an amazing number of people have criticized. I said, you know, men.
Is women grandmaster.
Why she wants to be like man grandmaster in this case?
So to answer the
So today I have a statistics-based paper for you, why women are worse at chess. And this one is going to be a little bit more impersonal, but in the future I would like to do more stories since I feel like my experience as a woman in chess is a little bit different since I do wrestling, which is also another male-dominant sport. But I feel like I haven't seen the same amount of sexism in wrestling as in chess. And so I just like to talk about that as well. But anyway, let's get started. So in 2015, Nigel Short, former World Championship challenger and future FIDE vice president, claimed that men are hardwired to be better chess players than women, and that women should gracefully accept it as a fact. These opinions have been prevalent across chess history, especially before Nona Kaprinashvili became the first woman to earn a Grandmaster title in 1978, nearly 50 years ago. Bobby Fischer remarked that women are terrible chess players who are just not so smart and should keep strictly to the home. Another former chess champion, Garry Kasparov, likewise stated in 1989 that there is real chess and there is women's chess. While he no longer stands by that comment, anyone in chess is bound to run into similar remarks. It all begs the question, are these views valid? As of August 2024, former Women's World Chess Champion Hou Yifan is the highest rated female player, yet she is ranked 110th globally with a 2633 rating, compared to Magnus Carlsen's 2832 rating. Not to mention, out of over 1,700 grandmasters, only 42 are women as of now. The fact that there are no women in the top 100 in the world, and the apparent necessity that there should be entirely separate women's tournaments and even women's titles, indicates that men dominate chess entirely. This is indisputable. What is in contention is the cause of men's dominance in chess, whether it is the result of a natural advantage or a current chess milieu. Whether nature or nurture explains the difference. There's the nature camp to which Nigel Short belongs. This cohort often believes women naturally lack either the intelligence, drive, creativity, or neurological wiring to succeed in chess at similar rates to men. Men are better chess players because they are naturally better at those skills chess demands, it seems. Yet, any philosopher worth their salt has heard Occam's razor, and an epistemological equivalent ought to be proposed here. Test first those hypotheses that are easiest to disprove. Pre-existing scientific research has not been able to definitely prove that women are less naturally suited for chess than men. How would one design such an experiment anyway? As such, the statements of Short, Fischer, and the naturalists are but mere conjecture, whose defenders can only assume this to be true by appeal to a quasi-theological framework that supposes women are an intellectual inferior, a framework that currently finds no empirical basis. One could first consider a third camp that has yet to be mentioned. The statistician that believes the vast majority of the difference in ability between the top male and top female players can be explained by the participation gap. This much is undeniable. Men outnumber women in chess tournaments at least 10 to 1. With this in mind, let us draw attention to the rating distributions among Indian chess players broken down by sex. So this chart was made by Wei Ji Ma of NYU, a computational neuroscience professor who argued in 2020 that there is no ability gap, but a mere participation gap. Ma used the October 6, 2020 FIDE standard rating list of Indian players born before 2000. The line chart on the left includes over 19,000 chess players, among whom just 6% are women. It's apparent that there are far more men than women at the highest ratings, yet there are also more men at the lowest ratings. If one were to normalize the rating distributions, the discrepancy vanishes entirely. The jagginess of the women's chart is to be expected from having such a small sample size, but overall the charts are nearly identical. The average woman's rating is a bit higher at 1466 versus the men's 1434. But this difference is hardly enough to make a definitive case that women are, on average, better than men. while others, such as I am Camacho Colados, have disputed mass characterization, and even argue that India is an outlier. The participation gap between men and women is still a major contributor to the performance gap across the world, and leaves the door open for other causes for the difference between men's and women's perceived chess ability. There is one takeaway from Ma's analysis that is key, however. To examine whether men are better than women, one must look at statistical averages rather than the outliers that are the top few hundred players in the world. With there being so many more male than female players, the dominance of men in the top 100 is actually rather expected. What is to be made of the view of the statistician camp, then? If you want more top-level women chess players, you need more women chess players, full stop. Why are there so few women playing chess? The nurturists offer a clue. Women encounter more barriers to remaining active chess competitors than men, regardless of ability. Women who choose to be mothers may have fewer opportunities to prepare for tournaments to take care of children. Women experience overt sexism through derogatory and misogynistic comments. Right now you can see woman GM Shahadi's not particularly beautiful. There were comments such as, checkmate, go back to the kitchen. She could be more pretty if she lost weight, and comments such as those. And Shahadi was nice enough to give me a high-quality image of this. Women likewise experience covert sexism, being subjects of implicit bias and unequal access to advanced opportunities in the chess world. As early as age 6, American girls are discouraged from participating in games for the really, really smart, and ascribe such games as being for boys. There's a whole global chess framework that is primarily operated by men, and is thus primarily intended for men. As such, women's tournaments seek to highlight strong female players so that they shine, instead of being drowned out as a small minority. The time may come when women and men have similar rates of participation and similar rates of success, but that is not our current time. The last phenomena, by which girls self-select themselves out of participating in games for the really, really smart, is the emergence of a stereotype threat. Women as any group can feel pressure to conform to existing stereotypes, to the point that this can affect their actual performance, and seemingly validate their stereotype, creating a vicious cycle. In one study, when women faced men online in evenly matched chess rounds, they performed equally to men, when their opponent's identity was unknown. However, when the women were told they were facing men, there was a noted drop in performance, a drop that disappears when they are falsely told to be facing other women, but are in fact facing men. The mere mention that they are facing men seems to induce a stereotype threat and affect performance, and in reality that's the sort of effect that the statements of the naturalists end up inducing. After all, why would it matter if men are biologically superior to women? That's not to their credit, as it's not an earned advantage. It's telling that so many men and women believe an unproven belief in the natural superiority of men suffices to explain, or even justifies, the participation gap and performance gap between the sexes. An offhand comment that men are simply superior to women in chess or other endeavors is more than an unproven factual claim. It is a tool of power. So, let's avoid biological essentialism as the knee-jerk, unverified conclusion for the existing success disparities that exist in chess, across not only sexes, but also ethnic and economic minorities. Let's have more intelligent and fruitful conversations where we consider what we implicitly believe about others, and whether this affects how we treat our fellow players. After all, chess is a sport that belongs to everyone.